This mat in two moves also I didn't solve. There's only one move for white here in order to do a checkmate in two moves. If you can find it yourself, you can pause the video and tell me in the comments the only move to do a checkmate here for white. So if you played the pawn to e3 check, that seems like a checkmate, but I didn't see it also that he can take with knight. Like I was total blind also, like I thought he can move his king here. So he will take with knight, and if you take with queen, he will take the knight and it is not a checkmate in two moves. If you play the queen to e3 check instead, right now he will take the queen and it will be a draw. If you take the bishop as a first move, he will play his knight to e5. And if you play the queen check from here, it seems like a checkmate, but he will take the knight or he can take this pawn and it is not a checkmate in two moves. If you try the queen to f6 check instead, all of this, like you are leaving the knight unprotected and it is not a checkmate. If you play the knight to f6 to do a queen check from here, and maybe that's a checkmate, but he will play his bishop to b1, and if you play the queen check from here, now he will run from e3 and it is not a checkmate in two moves. If you play the knight to f4, right now your knight is okay, and right now you are threatening queen check or with pawn check, but he will play his bishop to e4, and right now he can escape with king from e3 and it is not a checkmate in two moves. What about you play your knight from here instead? He will not take with knight. You know why? Because it's a pawn checkmate right away. But he will play his bishop to f5, attacking your queen. It's a weird move. And if you played your queen check, he will run from e3 and it is not a checkmate in two moves. So what is the only move that can do a checkmate here in two moves? The only move to play your knight here. Okay, but why? If he played his bishop to e4, he will just take the bishop and that's a checkmate right away. If he played his knight to e5, right now you don't have a check, but queen b6 checkmate. The difference here, this is a checkmate because your knight here wasn't protected, and at the same time his knight here blocked his king, so he can't play king e5. And if he played his knight to e3 instead, can you find a checkmate? Queen f6 checkmate. And if he takes the pawn instead, but bishop was preventing the queen to e4 checkmate. And the last one, if he played his bishop to c2, it seems that everything is protected here. Can you find the only checkmate here for white?